my honeys. This is Kamara, the Black Dove Oracle. Welcome to this brand new pick a card. It is titled Who Wishes to Destiny Swap with You? So we're going to have 4 groups, and the timestamps will be in the comment section below. Before we get started, I want to thank all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for maintaining your support while I took a small break, so I appreciate that. This is a timeless reading, but I am recording it at the 1st of February, and we're just going to get started again with these readings and messages for you. If you're brand new here, my name is Kamara. I'm a psychic medium. I channel the divine ancient oracles we call the Sibyls, as well as my ancestors and spirit itself. So I know that these messages received with care and transmitted with care. So thank you for joining me here. These readings are also how we would call collective, meaning you'll have to pick and choose what messages apply to you. But if you'd like a personal reading, one that's tailored just for you, your energy, and specifically for you, you can get that information at my website at www.blackdoveoracle.com. And there I have a variety of readings for people who need lower or quicker readings to people who want to sit down and do some spiritual life coaching. So mystical life coaching, I also provide that as well. And I want to thank everyone that supported my personal readings and my life coaching. I really appreciate it, you all. Thank you for the honor of serving you. So maybe you feel like we could collaborate. I would love to collaborate, or at least talk about it. My email is blackdovedreamer@gmail.com. So thank you so much. And lastly, my honeys, before you leave, before you click off, if you wouldn't mind helping me grow this brand new channel by giving me a like, or even subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like the way that I read, please do so and click the bell so you get notified when I upload new readings. And comment. I read all of the comments and I try to respond. So thank you all. And are we ready to move to this reading? Well, which is Who Wishes to Destiny Swap with You? Now, destiny swapping, I'm going to talk a little bit about it while I set up my screen. Destiny swapping, sometimes it can go to a place of where somebody actually wants to do that in a magical way, but it really could just be someone that's envious of you, someone who's always just regarded your life as the best, and they fantasize about what they could do with your life, So we're going to head over to group number 1, and let me just write down the timestamps to keep us all going here. So we are starting at, I am going to say 333. All right, my honeys, in group number 1, let's clear the energies. All right. So group number 1, I did make an overlay so that you can look at the avatars for this group. They may be slightly related to the reading, but they don't have to be. Know that these avatars can be switched around, the genders can change, the cultures could change, everything could change. So just take it where it resonates, okay? So group number 1, this picture, I think of a mother and a daughter, but it could be an older person and a younger person. It could be a caregiver and their charge, or it could be an auntie and a younger niece, nephew, nibbling. So, but the dynamic is someone is older and someone is younger. So let's start with the opening energy. I've got these brand new cards. They're called the Crystal Medicine Oracle. It's really beautiful. I've had it on my list for a while. So yeah, let's try that out with the opening energies. These are nice, beautiful round cards that feature a little bit of writing, but also like the gemstone. So I'm excited for that. So group number 1, let's get started. We have healer here. And it says, shaman, shamika. And the gemstone is Nuumite, Nuummite, Nuumite. And the number is 14. So group number 1, I'm going to read a little bit out of the guidebook, but I would say immediately what Spirit is speaking to me about is the idea that you are a great healer, group number 1. A healer that many admire, including this older person who might be your mother, who might be just an older family member or community member. Take it where it resonates. Let me put on my glasses so I can read just a little bit. I'm not going to read all of it to you. But it says here for 14, healer, shaman, shamika. It says here that you've called this card into your awareness today as a confirmation that you are the greatest healer. And healing is at hand. You have been a healer in many lifetimes, and currently you are being invited to awaken this powerful healing gift within you. Wow, Spirit's already downloading. I think group number 1, this may be specific, but I'm going to kind of share it with you. I'm getting immediately that you are a great healer, group number 1. But, and I think this mother figure, older woman, older person, recognizes that. But they've always pushed you to take this healing gift of yours in a more conventional way. So maybe when you were getting ready to go to school, they said you must definitely apply to medical school. You know, they wanted you to use that gift in a very conventional way, whether you decided to be a general practice doctor or a surgeon or a pediatrician or a veterinarian, I'm hearing, even a dentist. They wanted you to have that very conventional, solidified way of exercising this healing gift of yours. But I've always thought, group number 1, that you've connected to the more energetic and ethereal ways of relating to healing. And that there might have been, even when you were younger, something else that you wanted to do with these gifts. Maybe you wanted to do massage. Maybe you wanted to do something that was a little bit more unconventional. Maybe you wanted to be an herbalist or a midwife. There was something else you wanted to do with your gifts that felt more passionate for you, that felt more aligned with how you viewed yourself in the world. Many of you have really beautiful gifts of intuition. You connect with the idea of energy medicine, and you may have learned Reiki at a young age because these hands of yours, for many of you in group number 1, you have magical hands. Whether your touch is magical or there's something you're doing like surgery, they're very precise. They're very healing, I'm getting. What I heard from Spirit is that this push to be more of a conventional healer, it has ultimately, if you have finished medical school, if you have gone through the route of, of becoming a doctor of some sort, it has left you not feeling the greatest. It has not been the ultimate path for you. And I think even though you may have tried to get into what it is that your mother or your older family member wanted for you, or your caregiver even, it is never quite, you've never quite fit in that environment. Oftentimes, group number one, you have found yourself just wanting to run away, wanting to be free, wanting to do the things that you've always wanted to do. And for some of you, Spirit is saying you are in that timeline now, the timeline where you can choose yourself. But for some of you, you're in that process of choosing yourself. And it's hard because you don't want to be ungrateful or disrespectful to those who really guided you into life. And it's hard because you spent so much of an investment in this conventional path, but it often has you wanting to run. It says distorted desire. Maybe you have the fancy car, maybe you have the house and, the good-looking spouse or partner, but there's something so unsatisfied within you, something that wishes you would have taken a different route. In many ways, that story could belong to your mother. She could have chosen a very conventional life, one where the expectations were that she got married, that she had children, that she didn't work but kept a house. I mean, there's not too many housewives out there nowadays with the economy, but depending, that could be a life that was set up for your mother, for this older family member. And it really came with the idea that there was no resistance to what your family set out for you to do. So group number one, I think that some of you most recently have chosen yourself. You've decided to resist. You decided to change careers. You decided to maybe give up a career and do something completely different, but you resisted this family pattern. You decided, I'm no longer going to juggle between the things that I have a passion for and the things that I am told to do. And in that decision to resist, you you got a chance to avoid feeling like you were always running away. This time you had a reason. This time you had a purpose. This time you had a mission. And it's becoming clear to those around you that this is a life that is meant to be lived from a place of authenticity for you, group number one. And while being conventional and while working in systems that often are oppressive, you have found very little happiness in those systems. And your philosophy is to get free now. Your philosophy is to be unbound, to be unlimited in life. Let's see what your ancestors say. Because this destiny swap, it's coming because you've taken a stand in your life, group number one. And there is someone in your energy, in your field, who now is triggered in a big way. Their shadows triggered. It says they've entered into a place of darkness, because what you are showing them is that you can change your life. You can choose yourself. And this mother figure, this older person, they're going deeper and deeper into their own darkness, because in there, past all the shadow work, past all the healing, there is a version of themselves that really did want to live free at one time. that wanted to be boundless and unlimited. But they stuffed that self in a box. They stuffed that self behind several doors. And in a way, they just built a shadowy world for themselves where they couldn't be real, they couldn't be authentic, they couldn't express themselves. They had to fit this cookie cutter life. So when it came to the choices that you were going to make as you became an adult, group number one, there was something about your choices that activated this older figure. They seemed highly disappointed at times. They scolded you. They demanded that you fall in line. And still, even though it was very hard to get you to do what they wanted you to do, in the end, you still resisted. In the end, you gave it all up. And they don't know what's more shameful for them right now because they're dealing with an internal self-betrayal. How does this mother figure see you? How do they see you, this older person? They see you as someone who can get support outside of the family, who has a lot of people around them that respect their work. They see that this alternative way of healing has brought you a great community of people, people who respect you, people who want to engage you, collaborate with you, who want to work. And they don't understand it because they would think there's shame in giving up this status of, for an example, of being a doctor to be an herbalist. Like, who would do that? But you did it, and there's this beautiful community, group number one, budding around you, regardless of what you do, whether you're an herbalist or you're some kind of community figure and you started a nonprofit, whether you decided to change careers entirely. This mother figure, they're not only astonished, I'm hearing sometimes ashamed, because I think they got to tell their friends and other family members how proud they were that you were this whatever status you had with your former job. But they also see you as an exorcist. Some of you in this group, because I don't want to bypass this, you may have went from being a doctor to a shaman. Do you see that? Because it said, the opening card said shaman, shamika. And this exorcist is more of a shaman energy. For some of you, conventional medicine was not the way you were supposed to heal, help people heal. It was through spiritual shamanism. For some of you, you returned to your indigenous ways, to the indigenous teachings around healing, and you channeled that in. And you're like, me being a doctor, while this is great information for me to have, I am truly a shaman. I dive into other worlds and I help people heal at the underworld level, or at the upper world level, or the middle world level. In some ways, this older figure, I think they are ashamed of their indigenous heritage. And maybe that came with some kind of colonization, but it's a place where you, group number one, have decolonized. You want to go back to the old ways. You want to learn the old teachings. You are a traditionalist. You want to do healing in the way your great, 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 great grandmothers, grandfathers did. And you are trusting this talent of yours. You are trusting this call, group number one. And it's the way in which you stand with so much confidence and certainty now with what you're doing, that it is this older feminine figure is starting to look at your life as one of deep fulfillment. And they're starting to look at their own as a life that hasn't been as fulfilling, a life that's been very conventional, in a box. And they crave for another chance to tap in. For some of you, your mother, this older person in your family actually did have great many spiritual talents growing up, but they put it away because maybe they were told those things are not are not appropriate for a family anymore. We put aside those practices so that we can fit in a new culture and be more successful and make money. Our ways are old ways. We need to go with the new. That was the kinds of things that your mother or this older person heard when they were excited about their own spiritual gifts. How do you see this older person, group number one? You see them as the embodiment of the divine feminine. Group number one, I think you acknowledge that your mother or this older feminine figure as passed down is part of your lineage of the divine feminine, a very powerful lineage. And you give credit where credit is due, but it's almost as if it's seasonal. This way in which you can relate to your mother, it feels seasonal, like when things feel powerful for you, where you feel strong, where you feel like you're able to plant seeds in a direction, there's a way in which you want this feminine figure to recognize that you're doing something great. But in many ways, this older feminine figure becomes judgmental. They don't want to relate to the things that you're doing because these are things that they dreamt of doing when they were young. The seeds they wanted to plant. The feminism or the feminine energy they wanted to express. So Spirit is saying now that swapping destinies with them is more with you, group number one. For them, this destiny swap, it's about a new look at a life they could have chosen for themselves. I think they see themselves in you, this younger version of themselves in you, group number one. You may look a lot like this older feminine figure. And sometimes I think they stare in the mirror and imagine this younger version of themselves, one that, if they had allowed themselves to be, they could have stepped out of this upside down hermit energy. And again, for them, this hermit experience was more about being more inward than outward, being more reserved than expressive. They had so many wishes for a more, how do I want to say, passionate life. And now they see you getting this wish fulfillment, sitting in front of all your cups. Because more and more, group number one, as you choose yourself, as you go towards the things that you really love and you leave behind what felt like a shackle to you, they see your confidence growing. They see, maybe for some of you, your mental health has improved, They see that there's something about you not juggling all of the pressures of this conventional religion, but you're also just as busy helping with healing and really working in that community. So in many ways, your busyness, the lifestyle, in some ways has not changed for you, group number one, because many people know about your gifts and they want your healing. And in many ways, you've had to juggle your responsibilities because I think you built a whole other life that you had to build you had to resist in order to move towards this. But you see that this mother, they see you trying to juggle, maybe for some of you parenting, for some of you being a spouse or a partner. You're trying to juggle these lives that you have, but you also want to move towards a brand new life. A life that is your calling, I'm hearing, right? It may not have all the fancy accolades or the fancy letters behind your name, but it's the life, group number one, you want to live. And it's interesting because this mother, this older feminine figure, they secretly admire you. They admire the choices and the way that you took off on your chariot and decided, I'm about to live this life. I'm going to live this life on my own terms, the way I want to do it. And you see how you stand tall on this chariot, ready to go, to live this life. And maybe in some ways they feel left behind because your world, it's now coming into focus. And they don't believe they belong in it anymore because they chose a different way. They chose to conform. They chose to give up their dreams. This destiny swap, it has always been, in some ways, about them having to choose marriage or a career. Your mother, this older feminine figure. And in choosing marriage, I think many of them chose a marriage that was not fulfilling, a marriage that had very little in the cups. So in some way you have, I keep hearing like a secret support of this older feminine, because what you're doing now, it's reawakening how they once wanted to live their life. Group number one. They really did want this life that was carefree, that was, I'm hearing, passionate for them. So that's who wants to destiny swap with you. I don't get in a full kind of way, like a full life way, but they want to go back to that younger self that maybe they didn't have the choice at that time, or they felt they didn't, but they wonder now if they could step in your shoes, the shoes that are very confident, the shoes that are brave enough to shift. And they wonder if this person wonders if they could do that themselves, how would their life be different? How would their own health and healing be? How would their relationship even with you be if they were that feminine figure that chose themselves? Questions they may not ever get to know the answers to, but they wonder about this swapping of lives, even for a day. So group number one, that is your reading. If you resonate with it, please put a hand or hands in the comment. I don't know if you find something. I think there's a hand that's like, all right, okay, something like that. If you could put those hands in the comments, I know group number one, this resonated with you. And if you have not subscribed, but you like the way that I read and you want to stay connected, please consider subscribing, clicking that bell, because you get notified when I upload new readings. And group number one, I read the comments and I try to respond often, so feel free to comment as well. But group number one is, this is where we part. This is who wants to swap with you, and I will see you in future readings. Take care. Hello, group number two. I'm not sure why that intro played. Again, I don't know if I hit something. What happened? I'm not sure why it played again, but we're gonna move forward. Okay, it might just start playing for every group. So welcome, group number two. Let's clear the energies. So group number two, this is a reading on who wishes to destiny swap with you. Now, I made an overlay of all of the avatars, And this is your overlay for group number 2. We're going to start out with an opening card. Kind of get the opening energy, group number 2, for who wishes to destiny swap with you. It's kind of interesting, like someone who wishes to be you, someone who wishes to look like you. And the funny thing is, they've gone through many great lengths to try to make that happen, this person. But let's get the opening card. I was just kind of receiving that as the channeled message, group number 2. So let's see. Who wants to destiny swap with group number 2? Someone who sees you as a creative genius. Someone who really feels a lot of passion, a lot of fire for the way that you live your life, because it's so different, group number 2. You're so creative, but you're an original creator. You know what I mean? Like, you do things that no one ever thinks about doing. And when you do it, it's like everyone kind of just is in awe, like, of your creativity. Because I think what you do is you, group number 2, you go from the depths of your unconscious and you retrieve, I'm hearing certain kinds of writings, certain kinds of images, certain kinds of like sounds for music. Like, there's something that you do, group number 2, that's very uniquely yours, but it has a very spiritual component to it. I don't know if this person knows that yet. I'm supposed to mirror this, but I don't know if this person knows that yet. They just see what you create and they love this creativity of yours. They wish that they could have that same kind of creative power. But I don't know if they know how you do this. Where is it that you get your ideas from, group number 2? So this is interesting. This person wants to destiny swap, and it's very specifically around the kind of, I'm just going to use this word broadly, the kind of artist that you are, the kind of creator you are. If you're not a fine arts or craft creator or some kind of artsy kind of creator, you may be a chef. You may transform your body in some way. Maybe you're a ballerina. Maybe you're a modern dancer. Maybe you're an actor. There's something you do, and Spirit likes that word actor or actress. Do they use actress anymore? Just actor. I think there's, correct me in the comments. But if you are a popular or up and coming actor, this person, they feel like if they can only look like you, if they can move and talk like you, they would get the same opportunities as you. If you're a rapper, Spirit's bringing that up, this person wants to rap like you. They want to look like you. This is definitely someone in copycat energy. But this person wants to take it further. They want to be you, group number 2. They see a power in you that they don't know how to tap in for themselves. And what's eerie is they may have the same kind of body type as you. They may even have, you two might have different complexions, but they want to, as much as they can, and I'm hearing this in a very scary way, they may have even tried to have some beauty procedures to look like you. Only take it where it resonates. But they may have dyed their hair to look more like you. They may have gotten their hair braided to look like you. They might have decided to wear locks to look like you. Like, there's something they invested in to make sure that they started to emulate you in a particular kind of way. So they're very much moving in an energy of wanting to destiny swap with you. Because looking like you, it can only achieve so much. People know ultimately, physically, they're not you. But if they could destiny swap with you, if they can have the opportunity just once to prove their talents, maybe this person, they might think that they're just as creative as you, but they don't get the same responses as you do, group number 2, when they announce work, when they do things. Yeah, this person very much, it says transitions here. And let me read it. Where's my glasses? It says underneath transitions, you have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridge arises on your path. This is interesting because I think that this is Spirit's constant message to this person that wants to destiny swap with you. But it's almost like they can't hear it. And I think maybe too, Spirit is saying, group number 2, that you've even told this person this, because maybe you're peeping that they're starting to like wear the same outfits as you. Like there's something going on, and you're like, hey, trust your inner source. I think in a low-key way, you've wondered about sharing with them this whole idea of going within at a deep unconscious level to retrieve your ideas. But this is your treasure. This is how you do things, group number 2. And Spirit is saying, if you are considering that, Spirit is kind of warning you to keep your gifts and how you generate your creativity to yourself. It is someone's destiny. This person's destiny is to find their own way. Spirit is giving me a download right now. They're saying this person could be a twin or sibling. A sibling that might be even close in age with you, that kind of has the same, this is why I said maybe you all have the same body type, but you may have different complexions, which is kind of interesting, but not entirely impossible, because within brown and black skin families, people are different hues. But this sibling may wish to be your hue, may wish to look like you. They see things that you're getting and they want those things. So this person could be a sibling because there's some way in which you have a more closer relationship with this person, and you try to help them see and retrieve their own gifts. And this was why I think you wouldn't mind sharing your technique of how you create. But at the same time, Spirit is saying, if it is a sibling, if it is a family member, if it is a best friend, they have their own destiny. And by you sharing your techniques, group number 2, you, in a low-key way, you keep them from finding their own unique talents. You keep them from diving into who and getting to know who they are. And I think you may have realized this, group number 2, but Spirit said to mention it just in case you were considering it. Because Spirit is saying here, everything happens for a reason. And you've got to consider that sometimes it's not about the guilt of making it, but it's about the idea of being a model for somebody, to model how this life can be lived. They don't have to emulate your life. They need to find out who they are at a core level. There's something here about being grateful for the talents and skills that one has. Grateful for the opportunity to grow, to expand. There is something that I think this sibling or this energy that wants to destiny swap with you, they have not been able to like free themselves of the limitations of how art should be, how their creativity should be. And even though they see you pushing those boundaries a lot, they still feel compelled to follow you, group number 2, and do the things that you're doing. They don't see that they have a license to go out and explore on their own. And I think more and more you're trying to be compassionate in telling them that they have choices, that they could choose to experiment and really trust their own divine inner authority. For some of you, you have really taken this person under your wing. You've really watched out for them. That's why I think it's a sibling. But if it's not a sibling, it could be a best friend. Like maybe you all shared dreams when you were really young about becoming dancers or singers or rappers, and one of you it just landed in a particular kind of way where one of you started to kind of break away from doing this as a duo and really getting into your own expression, your unique divine expression. I'm hearing group number 2. But there's a way in which you have caregived this relationship. You've always made sure that if you're going to dance, you want to make sure your friend has an opportunity to dance too. Or if you're going to be on the front cover of this magazine, you want to make sure your friend can also do it too. Like for a while, you were including this person. And then I think Spirit is showing me, group number 2, you had to break away because something was keeping you a little limited. And you were tapping into something quite beautiful when it came to your creations. And I'm hearing if it was dancing, you were willing to learn different techniques, and you were mixing things. And it was hard for this person to keep up with what you were doing because you were in such a deep exploration. You were in such a deep place of retrieving your creativity from your unconscious, maybe even from past lives, I'm hearing. That's incredible, group number 2. So how does this person see you? This sibling, maybe best friend, colleague. They see you as a child eternal. They see you as someone who's constantly in joy, who has a lot of happiness for what they do. And I think sometimes they compare it to their feelings about their own creativity. They find that they're always anxious and pushing to be creative, where they feel like you're so effortless, you're so joyful, so childlike when it comes to your creativity. You're excited, you're happy, and they don't feel that way when it comes to their own creations. They also see you as a mystic. I think even if you haven't told them that you do these journeys to the unconscious, some of you do plant medicine, but like if you do these journeys to the unconscious, you may have not shared that with them, but they see you have a mystical connection to your creativity. Group number 2. They see that you're getting otherworldly support when it comes to how you're doing things. And they may have tried to ask you, but I don't know if this person has that kind of relationship to spirit like you do, or is willing to try the things that you've tried. If you have been to ceremony, you may have invited them to go to ceremony, but it was not something that they were willing to try. They see you as the ultimate seeker, someone who's so brave, someone who takes risks like going to ceremonies and diving into your unconscious. This person sees you as forever and ever rediscovering yourself. And they have yet to take that first step on their own. In fact, Spirit said at the bottom of the deck, they feel like a slave to their lives, to the box that they've set up for themselves, the identity even. For some of you, you realize that this sibling or this friend or this colleague has talents that are much greater in a different area, but they insist on staying, these are just examples. They insist on being an actor when they are a great dancer. They insist on being a painter when they actually create beautiful artistic cakes. Like there's something where you see their talents and skills, but they want to be just like you, group number 2. They want a destiny swap because they feel like your life could be their life. In many ways, you see them as a broken warrior because this came out reverse. You see this person as someone who's lost their own sense of self. They're not confident. And it's hard to teach people confidence, right? We can only boost them. but they have to believe in themselves. So you see them as an upside down warrior, someone who definitely could fight. I mean, you both are not that different, but for some reason they just don't take that extra step. You see them as someone who would rather trade energy, who would rather destiny swap than really discover themselves and their unique talents. How else do you see this person, group number 2? As someone who doesn't dream, someone who won't take the exploration to journey. So again, I think you feel that, and because you don't want to force anyone to do the things you're doing, especially if you're doing stuff like ceremonies and plant medicine, but you really felt like if this person wasn't afraid of discovering themselves, they could retrieve their own drum and begin to journey on their life path. You have a lot of compassion for this person, group number 2. And in many ways, in some past life together, you were a guardian angel for this person. You really, and even now, you do look out for them. But you're starting to see that maybe that's hindering them. Maybe they're not growing because they need to kind of take a chance on themselves, to invest in themselves, to believe in themselves. Last few messages from Spirit regarding this group number 2. Yeah, I think you've gone within. You're a beautiful Hierophant. Like you've gone within and you've really contacted a part of yourself, maybe in a recent ceremony that said, it's time for you to let go of this. And Spirit has been talking to you. Because where you're getting ready to go, group number 2, it's like to the cosmos, I'm hearing. Like your work is getting ready to expand in another way that you will be blowing everyone's mind. But you can't do it with someone trailing behind you, hoping to be you, trying to get a chance where they can, because you have a different life path. And it's becoming more and more apparent to you, group number 2. And this is where you all will part. There's been tension between the both of you. Because I think this person feels that you're leaving their life, that you're taking a new direction, group number 2. And that their attempts to be like you, to emulate you, to look like you, in hopes of getting a chance, they're fading away. And as much as you try to offer them solutions, they don't want to take it. As much as you try to build them up and hope that their confidence will just kind of shift, it doesn't happen. 4 of Cups. You tell them all the time you have so many options, so many different ways to go on this life. Just choose one and try it. But they don't feel free like you. They don't feel like they can do this on their own. 9 of Pentacles. If you even ask them to make a wish, they'd want to hear what your wish was first. They're stuck in seeing you as the blueprint, as the prototype, and not themselves, which puts them in an upside down Queen of Pentacles energy, unable to support themselves, sometimes at the financial level, sometimes in a psychological level. But you see them for who they are. They are this beautiful Queen of Pentacles. They do have talents, but right now, where they're at mentally, where they're at emotionally, it's not aligning them with their highest self. Spirit said at the bottom of the deck, you will be experiencing group number 2, a huge victory soon. You'll be coming into town with that on that white horse going, yeah! And this person, they will be watching from the background. And they will see that you are not focused on them anymore. You're focused on your victory. Spirit saying that's how it will be, because where you're going, group number 2, is the land of the High Priestess. This has always been you, but I think this is an official title of some sort, that you, in a crown, a mystical crown that you will be wearing going forward. So group number 2, that is who wishes to destiny swap with you. And maybe you could put a crown in the comments if this resonates with you, group number 2. And if you like the way that I read, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing so that we can stay in touch. You click that bell, you get notified when I upload new readings, which is pretty often. And group number 2, I can't wait for you to be sharing your creations and your special talents into the next reading. Thank you so much. Hello, group number 3. So I guess that intro didn't continue. That was for group number 2, I guess. So group number 3, let's clear the energies. So group number 3, this is a reading called Who Wishes to Destiny Swap with You? Group 1 and 2 have been very interesting. So group number 3, I don't imagine yours will not be. How did I say that? Group 3, I imagine yours will be equally as interesting. Opening card, group number 3, personal power. That's the overall theme of why this destiny swap is on someone's mind. The power animal, and the crystal is crystallite. Is that crystallite? Crystallite. Let's read a little bit about this personal power. The number is 20. I'll show it really up close. But I'm just going to read real briefly what this means from this book. It's a brand new deck I have. It's called Crystal Medicine Oracle. Very cute, very beautiful. So let me put on my reading glasses. It gives you like ways to work with the crystal. It gives you a little bit of medicine and talks about healing properties. And yeah, it's a very cool book. It's a lot of information in here. So personal power and your power animal, which there are a few in this picture. It says you have attracted this card into your awareness as you are currently shifting your personal power to a whole new level. It's time to connect deeply with the strength and courage of who you are, to step up and step out into the world, to be the best version of yourself. Due to the range of different fears we experience in life, at times we can hold ourselves back. However, this card has shown up today to ask you to feel the fear and do it anyway. When you finally move forward in your power, you'll realize there will be no fear and you will be fully in your power and manifesting your truth. So let's just briefly see what crystallite means. Crystal-like, the properties are to discover and connect you to your power animal. It also aligns you to your strength, and it awakens your personal power. So group number 3, immediately I see that this person who wishes to destiny swap with you, they see in you a kind of power, a kind of personal power that they once saw in themselves. And I don't know why, but prior to pulling cards in this group, Spirit told me that this is about the other woman. That this is a situation, group number 3. Take it where it resonates. It doesn't have to be the only reason. But for a group of you, this is the other woman, the other person that may have been involved in a third party with you and a partner. And when they went to search out who you were, group number 3, they saw you and they saw that you were a younger version of themselves, maybe. But that's what I'm getting from Spirit. Doesn't have to be the entire reading for group 3, but there's a large bit of envy here about who you are and how perky you are. You know what I mean? Group number 3. And if it needs to switch, maybe for some of you, this is happening on the other end. This desire to destiny swap. Maybe you are the spouse. Maybe you are the partner. And this third party person, they want to come in because they want your life. They want to be the spouse. They want to be the loved wife or the loved partner or husband. You know, like take a word resonates, but somebody wants the life you have for very different reasons. I'm seeing that maybe at some point you two shared the interest of a love interest, meaning both of you were attracted to this particular person, but maybe one of you had an official relationship with this person and the other one didn't. More of an affair, more of a third party. The power animal, it's interesting, group number 3. It's coming forward because I think you are the one that is expressing more power here. You're the one that is connected to their sense of self wherever you are, group number 3, in this scenario. But this person who wants to switch with you, let's find out more, because maybe we can find out just with more detail what the energy is that's leaning this way for this group. Yeah, metamorphosis. This person desperately wants your life, group number 3. They definitely want to change themselves. They definitely wish they could have like some way to wipe away the wrinkles or the signs of getting older or more mature. Yes, they can dye their hair, but they look more mature. In some cases, group number 3, this isn't about a third party, but it's about you wanting to be a younger version of yourself. You having some, how do I want to say this delicately? You having some issues with getting older. So Spirit said there would be different scenarios in this group. But you may be looking at and fantasizing about a younger timeline in which you looked a particular way and you want that self back. You may be contemplating plastic surgery, nothing wrong with it if that's what you want to do. You may be contemplating all kinds of like skin treatments and suctions of the body, you know, like because there's something inside of you that wants to be that person again. But Spirit is saying, are you sure it's not just about retrieving your personal power? Not so much retrieving your looks, but the power. Because the power helps you look beautiful regardless of your age, right? But you've maybe in group number 3, there's some of you that have bought into the idea that we must stay young forever. For others of you, if this is a third person outside of yourself, they wouldn't mind looking like you. They wouldn't mind having the same bag you have or the same ring that you have. If they were having an affair with your partner earlier, They made unusual demands of this partner to buy things that they've brought for you, group number 3. In some ways, group number 3, you have had to maintain your dignity in a very hard situation, especially if you decided to stay with this partner. This card keeps coming out in different groups, but gratitude, how I interpret it for you, group number 3, is that, yeah, you could be happy that you have this partnership and you all have been together for a while, but you are definitely finding that it is more and more difficult to maintain your own dignity in this relationship. And now to have a younger version of yourself coming after what you have, it feels so cliche. It feels so heavy to you. And maybe you're deciding to stay in this partnership, if this is your scenario, because there's more to discover in this relationship, and maybe there's been work on it and forgiveness and everything, but someone may have taken up some kind of stand to be like you, to try to trade with you, to try to get this partner to notice them again. That's one scenario. And I want to go back to the scenario where group number 3, if this is you wanting to destiny swap with a younger version of yourself, you're remembering the times where you were carefree. You're remembering the times where you had unlimited, boundless ways of relating to life. You want to retrieve that again with your youth. You want to retrieve that youthful energy even. Spirit said one more card here. Says the Rose Phoenix. I don't know what this particular one is. Hold on for 1 second. We're going to find out. So group number 3, this Rose Phoenix is about allowing yourself to really dive into a metamorphosis, the thing that you're becoming, and really to accept this new version of yourself. The Rose Phoenix is saying your higher self is calling, and this version of yourself that you are now becoming is actually more important than a past self. Very deep. So for some of you in group number 3, with these worries of getting older and looking different and maybe your body's becoming different, things that I've had to reconcile myself, I'm in my 50s. And it's like something to just understand that there is beauty in what you are becoming, group number 3. And you're receiving that message from Spirit that is saying, is this destiny swap with your younger version even necessary? Because who you are now is so powerful. I want to go back to this, connecting with this personal power of yours, even if it comes in the form of a power animal. It's about really loving this version of yourself, loving this version, I'm hearing, of your life. Let's see what the ancestors want to say. This is my ancestor deck. What do you want to say, ancestors, for group number 3? Yeah. Ruler, it says leadership. Spirit is saying here, group number 3, especially for both scenarios, whether you're dealing with an actual person that wants to destiny swap with you, or you're dealing with this present version of yourself that wants to destiny swap with a past version of yourself. There's something about stepping into your leadership right now and understanding good leadership may take a long time to perfect. And in a great the process of that, it really is about becoming more mature. And that this maturity that you are in right now, it is serving a purpose. It's helping you become a great ruler of your life. It's helping you to connect, I'm hearing, to your personal power. So when we disregard that and we try to go back into the past and be young, or we try to, if someone's trying to match who we are and what they want from us, they'll never be able to do it, because you're in a stage of life that is only can be reached by experiences. So a younger version of yourself does not have these experiences that are actually feeding you your power. Uh, and a 3D younger version of yourself that maybe a partner in consciousness selected does not have the same attributes, the same lived life experience that you have, the wisdom you have, the divine inner authority you have. This is a very interesting group, because those two scenarios seem to be like a boat. They wave here and then it kind of moves here, but I can see it, I can feel it, and Spirit is saying these are the two scenarios. So if those two don't fit, it might be another group for you. But let's see, what do you find so fascinating, group number 3, about your younger self? How do you see this younger self of yours, the self that you wish to destiny swap with? You see this, Mystic is in reverse. If this is the part of the group that really wants to destiny swap with a younger version of themselves, you recognize that there's a certain innocence you had back in the day. And now you feel like all the things you know and have known and come to know, they are showing up on your face. Maybe some of you feel like you have those angry lines, or some of you feel like you have laugh lines, whatever. Like, you can sit here on YouTube. I mean, I don't know if the algorithm is just giving me these kinds of ads, but constantly you're being sold creams and ways so you lose weight and to look younger and exercises, and there's something you want to revert back to a time where you didn't have to worry about any of that. Group number 3. Where you are just innocent to life, where you can have a few drinks one night and not feel like your stomach's gonna explode the next morning. I think you see that younger version of yourself as a second chance, maybe even a way to really find a better companion if you look better. Some of you might be divorced in this pile recently, and you're wondering, how would I enter the dating world again if I don't feel confident about how I look? And for you, this is something about your child, your inner child, and your true nature. You're being reminded of that these looks are external, but there is something inside of you that will probably be much more compelling to the right partner, the right companion. Now I'm going to do this again for the side that has this third party that wants to destiny swap with you as the established partner, the spouse. That person sees you as a mediator, someone who is able to save their partnership, even though an affair might have happened, or something. Take it where it resonates. It might have not even been a full affair. It might have been an emotional affair. It might have been someone having a crush on someone. But whatever it is, you were able to mediate the feelings that came up around that. You were able to mediate the strengths of your relationship, and maybe you were able to retrieve it. And that person sees your power there to heal a rupture in a relationship. They also see you as a damsel in distress, and that your partner or your spouse would run to you whenever you needed help, even if they wanted to stay with them. The person who is the third party, they would always see that your partner would come and assist you when you had needs. So in that way, this third person is jealous because they see the love the partner had for you, regardless of what they were doing on the side. They also see you as someone who's quite introverted. That's interesting. They may see themselves as someone who's exciting. That's why your partner wanted to be with me, because I'm exciting. I like to go dancing. I like to drink. And you like to stay home. You like to read. But some of the things they don't see about you, group number 3, is that you were taking care of your pain. You were taking care of the betrayal, the rupture in your relationship. So in some ways, this person doesn't always see you accurately. They may see you as a vampire, as someone who's trying to hold on to a relationship that's long gone. That's just that person. I showed it to you. How do you see them? Let's go to how do you see, if this is a third party, how do you see this third party? How do you see this third party? Someone who tries to pretend that they're honorable, who tries to pretend that this affair happened because it needed to happen, not because they interrupted or compromised a relationship. They kind of see themselves as kind of in a high kind of regard, even though they've had the affair. So you see them that way. You know what I mean? As someone who thinks a lot of themselves, someone who thinks they know it all. The great teacher could be a spiritual teacher, but I think in the sense you see this third party as someone who knows it all, who tries to be enlightened. But you also see them as someone who's not very grounded, who's always got their heads in the stars, someone who's so young that they don't know what they're doing next. They have no direction and can be easily caught up in an affair. So I want to shift to the group that wants to connect with a younger past version of themselves. How do you see this younger, how does this younger past version of yourself see you? Group potentially would see you, group number 3. I think this past younger version of yourself would even agree with spirit that you must trust your instincts, trust where you are going, group number 3. I think this younger version of yourself says, yeah, I might have more energy, I might be thinner, I might be, perkier, whatever, but you're the best version of ourselves. And this is where you can utilize all these power animals. Look at all your power animals. There's some kind of knowledge you have, group number 3, that this younger self is trying to remind you of too. That you have a gift, that you have personal power. Use it. Don't stop wasting your time on the past. Stop wasting your time on trying to look younger and appealing. Who is this for? This younger version of yourself also sees you as someone who needs to heal the places where you were broken. Instead of rushing out and spending thousands of dollars, I'm just doing examples, you all, and I'm not trying to make judgments, but instead of spending thousands of dollars on a facelift or a BBL, heal the inner part that feels that they are not perfect as they are. Lastly, this younger version of yourself says that you are quite powerful spiritually, that you are a shaman, that you can go within and heal these broken aspects of yourself. Because once you discover that you can heal yourself, you're going to really love and connect with the power of who you are right now. Mm-hmm. Instead of chasing the past, which is technically gone, you could live this life now and be happy and feel cherished and loved just for who you are. Last few cards here, group number 3. There's something about not leaving. And for many of you in group number 3, this has been obviously a personal choice to not leave your relationship, to try to heal it and give it another chance. But when this third party comes in, you wonder, was that the best choice for you? Because this third party is obsessed with becoming more and more you so that they can try to retrieve your partner back, your spouse back. So there's something a little unhinged there. And this partner of yours may not be the emperor they used to be. They too are on some past energy. Maybe the both of you are. And so it's got you thinking, group number 3, where do you really need to be? Because the things that brought you together with your partner, your spouse, they're now turned upside down. They don't hold the same value anymore. And though you've tried to heal, for some of you, you tried to heal and you healed. And others of you, this is still an upside down situation. And for those of you who really are contemplating this younger past version of yourself, Spirit is saying to balance the scales, to understand life has its own justice. Aging has its own justice. The things that we know now, we wish we would have known when we were younger. And we may not have wasted our time on certain things. But the justice here is to balance the scales in your life. If getting treatments and plastic surgery and dressing younger, or getting a haircut, if those are the things that would make you happy, that would balance your scales, then do them. But I think you're being advised to do them from a place that feels like a healed place, not from a place that's responding from a broken heart, not from a place that's responding from brokenness. So you are being called to take a somewhat decided action on your direction. Not an unconscious one, but one that's very conscious in terms of where you want to go in this stage of your life, group number 3. One more card. Yeah, Spirit says the times of you being in distress, depressed, not sure where you're going, they're coming to an end. But you are being urged to see it all the way through this healing and not just try to cover it with a Band-Aid or expensive makeup and all these things, but to really see yourself, to look in the mirror and see that this past version of yourself is looking directly back at you and saying, good job. Very good job. So group number 3, that's what I have for you. And if it resonated with you, maybe you could put a star in the comments, because there's a lot of star energy here. And group number 3, if you like the way that I read and you want to stay connected, please consider subscribing. I do upload often when I upload often. And thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I look forward to connecting again. Thank you. Hello, group number 4. So we got the intro again. I don't know how that intro is happening. I gotta check it out. It happened for group 1, I think for group 2, and then it skipped group 3, and we got it back for group 4. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I gotta check it out. Sorry, group 3, if you missed your little intro or whatever. But welcome, group number 4, to your pick a card reading on who wishes to destiny swap with you. The last few groups have been interesting, and this one I think will be very interesting. Let's clear the energies. My cat is already starting to chime in. So group number 4, let's start with an opening energy. You know, when I came across this particular avatar, I do think that the destiny swap is with someone who is no longer in human form. Hmm. Let's see the opening energy. It says black tourmaline cleansing and a feather and the number 6. Black tourmaline is highly protective. It's a stone that will most definitely cleanse away things that feel heavy, feel maybe even like you need protection from. And the feather, you know, it's a symbol of the air element. It's a symbol too of our liberation and our freedom. So we bring that together with the word cleansing. And there's something there, group number 4, about needing to do some kind of healing work. Because for you in group number 4, you wish to destiny swap maybe with someone, a lost loved one. For many of you, and I'm sorry to say this, maybe it's a child that you lost or a younger family member. You wish in so many ways that it was you and not them. And many of you in group number 4, you're grieving. You have gone to places where you're not sure you can come back to because this grief feels heavy at times. And if there was a way, if there was some magical way, if there was any way that you could trade places with this younger family member, you would. You most certainly would. So your opening message is telling you that there's a great deal of healing that has to take place because maybe in a very factual way, you know that you cannot switch this fated life. This is an interesting group, and I know it may not resonate with many people, but if it does, I think healing messages are coming your way, group number 4, if you want to listen. It's interesting because this card says radical curiosity, but look, it has like a little young child on it. It says at the bottom, and let me get my glasses to be correct. It says at the bottom, see as if you are seeing for the very first time, every time. Group number 4, the energy that you wish to destiny swap with, that you have feelings about. Looking at my cat here. I don't know why she's doing something different. This energy is coming to speak with you, group number 4. It's coming as a channeled message. It's saying that, yes, this energy misses you just as much as you misses it. But they want you to find a place of healing so that you can experience life again, so that you can experience joy again, curiosity again. This energy is saying that you and them, you were meant to share a certain aspect in time together. but they see that you have so much more life to move forward into. That, like I said, this may be a difficult message for someone who's more in recent grief, and I would suggest that you pin this message and come back to it later when you feel stronger in your grief journey. But if you are coming to that place in your grief journey where you're wondering what's next, then this is what this energy, this spirit, this little spirit is telling you, group number 4, that there's more beyond this pain. There's more beyond this circumstance. And they feel a great deal of love for you, a great deal of hope for you as well. They are a young ancestor. Let's go to the ancestral deck. Solidness, the mineral. Group number 4, you're being reminded to ground, to not be so much in the other daydream or the fantasy of swapping destiny, but to be here right now on the earth, feet on the ground, solid. Spirit said one more card from this deck. Because look at this. Very similar messages. To explore life again. To remain and really go into a place of radical curiosity. Who am I now? Who will I be? What is life trying to show me right now? Curious in this one, there's a young figure as well. So I do think this person that you have lost, that is on the other side, is trying to reach out to you, group number 4. They're trying to reach out to you through your pain because they're trying to show you that life still continues, that they are not disconnected from you, maybe in the flesh, but they are here as an energy, alive and willing and here to support you through this loss. There's something here about you, and Spirit said to take all these cards. There's something about you being more kind to yourself. Because grief is not a straight line. Grief goes up and down, in and out. It's chaotic. Sometimes you'll feel well for months, and then a birthday comes or an anniversary comes, and there is that shadow, that veil that kind of covers you. And it's just, again, the message here is to get to know another version of yourself. For many of you, if this is the loss of a child, you're in this lost, grieving mother energy, and this child is saying, oh, my mother, you're so much more too. Not that you have to forget me, but I heard forgive. Not that you have to forget me, but there's more to this life that you can live in my energy. This is a deep message. How does this energy see you? This lost loved one. How do they see you? They see you as someone who might be in this kind of energy of trying to survive, just trying to make it. Maybe you've become very overly consumed with just daily survival and not looking at your overall health and healing. This young spirit also sees you as someone with a brilliant mind, a brilliant destiny, maybe someone who's a brilliant thinker. planner, creator. They're saying right now you haven't been using that part of yourself. But they're saying that there is an aspect where, even in this priest energy, someone who takes care of people, who takes care of everyone in the family, but when it comes to their own grief, there is no time. Things have to be done. I have to work. And there's this energy of this lost loved one is saying, come back to yourself. Instead of wishing I was back and that you could trade destinies with me, come back to yourself. Come back to the love that you gave to me. Give a little to yourself. So how do you see them, group number 4? The loved one that you lost. How do you see them? You see them as a beautiful, beautiful baby of yours. When you were pregnant with them, if this is a child of yours, you felt like Mother Earth. You felt so connected to your divine feminine. And if this isn't directly a child of yours, you see how connected they were to the earth. How they enjoyed being in nature. I thought I saw nature. Maybe not in this one. But yeah. How easily they would have saw you growing up and being this like advocate for the environment. You know, like you see them as that way. You saw them as someone who held your heart. You were so in love with them. So they were so precious to you. They were the container of your heart. And now you do see them as a guardian angel, because they do come to you in your dreams. They do, in those sad moments where you wish they were here, they do come to you and they send you messages, maybe a white feather while you're walking, maybe a sound, maybe a star in the sky. And you know it's them reaching out to you, helping you to move to the next chapter of your life. So group number 4, this was a hard message, and it may not be for everyone. It may be very specific, but Spirit wants you to know it. Even if one person connects with this, it was your message, and it means that justice was served, because your loved one wanted you to know that it's time to balance the scales in your life, to stop overgiving and tend to yourself, tend to your healing. Group number 4. Because Spirit is saying you don't have to worry about all the things that need to be done, all the things to run after. It is time for you, group number 4, to leave that behind. In some cases, you're being told to move forward in life. Maybe go away and get your own respite. Or maybe it's time for you to move from a lot of these familiar places and strike out to a place that's new, a place that gives you more time to think and feel and be with yourself. Some of you may move. Last few cards. You don't have to be on the outside. Sometimes this is about money, but this one, group number 4, is about you staying isolated and not connecting with people. It's time for that to be over, and I think you feel it too, group number 4. And I guess there's a big message here about not feeling guilty about moving forward. You do not have to destiny swap with this lost loved one. They want you to move forward and create a new chapter in your life. I keep hearing that. They want you to be, I'm going to cover this with my fingers, the star of your life. But they also want you to look up in the sky, and when you see this beautiful star, maybe blinking, that it's them too reminding you of this. That so much of your life is ahead of you. And they are saying here, death is just transition. And they said that when you're ready, you will find this message, group number 4. When you are ready, you will find it, because they know that this message will be here for you on my channel. And they're saying in a very deep way, I can never die. You will always feel my energy. I will always be with you. My mother, my empress. Okay? So group number 4, we will leave it there. We will. And know that you can reach out to people for help. Many hospices offer free grief therapy to people in the community. You don't have to have someone in hospice for it, usually. And there are other places that do grief therapy that offer that for free. So look it up, free grief therapy. And group number 4, put a white feather in the comments if this is your group, if you desire. And group number 4, I'm feeling so much love for you, but it seems like you are getting ready to shift into a healing path here. So if you resonate with this reading, could you please give it a thumbs up? It's just a way to help me grow this brand new channel. If you like the way that I read and want to stay connected, please do so by subscribing, clicking that bell, and then clicking the bell button, so that you get notified when I upload new readings. In group number 4, it feels like a kind of hush has come over this reading as I bring it to a close. Know that there is a lot of healing ancestral energy around you. Okay, my honeys, take care.